Let's get some more reaction from conservative radio host Hugh Hewitt. Hugh, I thought the outrage story of the day was going to be your call to hike the gas tax, but I imagine you now feel very differently. What do you make of what we've just heard from former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton?
Well, I think it was the most interesting Secretary Clinton has been in 3 years. I could not stop watching it. And among the many interesting things she said, Kelly, is a near-naked assertion that Donald Trump guided the Russians in the aftermath of the Access Hollywood tape to dump the Podesta emails via WikiLeaks. I mean, she did basically say that. She also said, and I agree with this, it's understated that she was the victim of a broad assumption that she would win, which I agree with, by the way. She had the false positive of being widely believed to have won 3 debates. She had the false positive of widely believed to be Obama 3.0, as she referenced. But then another stunner, she blasted the Democratic National Committee and Debbie Wasserman Schultz, though not naming Debbie Wasserman Schultz, for being bankrupt and full of bad data. And she heaped praise on Reince Priebus, again without naming him, for the RNC having road-tested and battle-tested the best and most effective get-out-the-vote data delivery system. And one final note, it's a rather sinister view of the election, and I understand why she has it. But she genuinely believes that the American people were defrauded in this campaign as opposed to simply chose Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton. She genuinely and candidly put that forward this afternoon.
And Hugh, to that point, there were, as this was going on, those criticisms came back, which said, well, was she asked about, why she didn't go to Michigan, for example, or some of these states that were a core part of the campaign. In fact, she even had a line where she kind of was referring to the incident in one of the special elections that just happened, and she said, Missoula, Billings, I can't remember which. This was part of the criticism of Hillary Clinton all along, that she's just simply not in touch with the people.
Well, there is that. She has clearly got a lot of anger at James Comey. She has clearly got a theory of the case of what happened to her. It's not consistent with the book Shattered by Amy Parnes and John. They came up with a different theory of the case, which was top-down control, mismanagement at every level, and a misallocation of resources as well as cocooning. But today she was as relaxed and as direct as I don't think I've ever seen her this way. And so Kelly, for those who missed it, I hope they catch the replay.
John?
Kelly, I was just going to add, on your point about being in touch with the people, it's really, in our politics today, the question of which people you're talking about. Hillary Clinton did, after all, get more votes than Donald Trump, but she was underperforming among some of the Democratic base in states that were decisive, and Donald Trump had an exceptionally strong appeal with a certain slice of the electorate, most notably non-college white voters, especially older ones, that was enough to beat her. And so the question is, what other groups of voters do Democrats need to reach out to, or do they want to try to get out more of the people who are already with them? It's not as easy as saying yes with the people or no, not with them. It's which ones we're talking about.
John, I also thought it was interesting, as Carl was saying as well, that she was talking about the tech revolution as having been weaponized now, and talked at great length about how the GOP seems to have won that battle. What kind of response do you expect from the Democrats now that they've emphasized how important this is?
I'm not sure what the meaning of that phrase is, though. I mean, information is always the coin of the realm in politics, and you could say that, John Kennedy weaponized television by beating Richard Nixon in debate, and Richard Nixon weaponized television by having better ads than Hubert Humphrey in 1968. I think this goes back a long way. It is true that information is disseminated much more quickly and easily now to a broader set of people than it has in the past, and she was on the short side of that, and she was hurt by some factors, although I agree with you. The American people were not defrauded in the election. She had some flaws. The ways in which she was attacked took advantage of those flaws, attacked not only by Republicans, but perhaps by the Russians as well, and because of her inability to arouse the critical parts of the Democratic base in the right places, she wasn't able to win electorally.
And Hugh, a final question to you, going back to one of her final lines during the interview, where Hillary Clinton said, "I'm not going anywhere." Does this now energized version of Hillary Clinton, is that an asset for the Democratic Party, or to some extent is she a liability to the wing that would have perhaps preferred Bernie Sanders be the candidate all along?
No, I think Hillary Unplugged is a great asset. I believe each of those 25 Democrats who are contesting Senate seats in 2018 would love to have her come and raise money for her. I do think she needs to get better explaining the San Andreas fault of American politics, which starts a little bit south of Pittsburgh, runs up along the Ohio-Pennsylvania border, goes into Michigan and Wisconsin. She's not talking to those voters that John just referenced, and she wasn't doing so today in the comfy confines of CodeCon, out on the left coast among her friendly audience. This is a Democratic Party challenge. They've got to talk to those voters.
And she, to Hugh's point, Kelly, Hillary Clinton was always talking to and is still talking to Walton Karras people out in the Valley.
Right. No, that is not lost on anybody. Guys, thank you all. Hugh Hewitt.